Okay, so there's 5 main topics that we're going to review before our final exam. And these are 5 things that are extremely important for Math 3 and that are going to show up on the final exam. So today we're starting with the first one, special right triangles. And let's go through and see what you guys remember from this section, or hopefully we can pick up the topic now. So we're going to start with the 45, 45, 90 rules. And that means that if you find a triangle that has a right angle in it, and it has 2 of the same side lengths, that means this is an isosceles triangle. If it has 2 of the same side lengths and it has 2 of the same angles, it means that we know that this is a 45, 45, 90 triangle, because 45 plus 45 is 90, plus the other 90, that equals my 180. What was the rule for this one? It said that any side length S was going to be equal to the other side length S, and that the relationship for the hypotenuse was that it was going to be the side length root 2. This came from the Pythagorean. We studied this in the study guide. So we can change this letter. It doesn't have to be a side length S. We could be talking about any number. N is going to match any number n, and then this would be a rule of n root 2. So you're going to notice over here that it's got some hints with the legs are equal to n and the hypotenuse is n root 2. The legs are equal to n and the hypotenuse is n root 2. So what does that n stand for? It stands for any number for that side length. So let's go do the 45, 45, 90s. Remember to pause this video after you practice a few and try to finish some and then replay it, see how you did. By pausing it, you can see if you can complete some of these on your own. So looking at this first one, number 1, we've got a side length here of 10. And so we know that the other side length x over here is going to match that. They're both going to be 10 inches. So our legs are equal to 10 and x is 10 inches. You can put the little inches symbol or you can write out the word inches. Then they ask for the y or the hypotenuse. And we know that the hypotenuse is just that side length root 2. So since our side length is 10, it's 10 root 2. And again, our units are inches. How'd you do? Okay, I'm going to jump to number 3 now. This time they're asking for x and y when given this side length of the hypotenuse as 9 root 2. Now over here, if our side length was 10 root 2, and you could see that this 10 matched this 10 and this 10. So over here they gave us the 9 root 2. Do you see that that's just going to make our leg values 9? 9 root 2 was given to us in the problem. So x is going to be 9. There's no units given here, so I'm going to write u for units. And y is the other equal side length. So we're going to write that y equals 9 units as well. So side length 9, hypotenuse 9 root 2. I'm going to now jump to number 6, another 45, 45, 90. Notice that now they're asking you to show all the work. So here we go, identifying this as a 45, 45, 90 triangle. We're going to first identify the leg, and then we're going to identify the hypotenuse, and then we'll answer our x and y. So the rule is that the leg is side length n, and the hypotenuse is n root 2. So my side length was given to me as the hypotenuse again. Here's that 4 root 2. So that means that my side length is just going to be 4. Is everybody okay with that? So my x is going to be 4 millimeters, and my y is the other side length that's equal, also 4 millimeters. How did you do? Okay, which other ones do you see are going to be 45, 45, 90? Hopefully you saw this one. How do I know it's a 45, 45, 90? Do you see these marks right here saying that the sides are equal? That means this is an isosceles right triangle, which means that the angles are also the same, 45, 45, 90. Which other ones did you see? You got it. This guy over here is also 45, 45, 90. So let's get that work ready. Any others? You got it. This guy right here. Okay, so the rule is I've got my side length for my leg, and I've got my hypotenuse of leg root 2. And so in this one, they gave me does everybody see it? The side length of 3 feet right here. And that means that my other side length is also going to be 3 feet. And so my hypotenuse is just 3 root 2 feet, or you can put that little mark. Looking at number 9, do you see how they gave us a side length or the leg of a half? And so my hypotenuse, which is leg root 2, is going to be half root 2. So my x is a half, matching sides, and my y is half root 2. Could you write that as 0.5 root 2? Sure. And then my units are kilometers. Okay, if you haven't paused the video yet, pause it and go try your number 10. Okay, let's see how you did. Leg is going to be just your side length n. Hypotenuse is your n root 2. And notice this time they gave us the n root 2 as 17 root 2. And so now I can go backwards and find those side lengths as just 17. Notice it's meters. So my x is 17 and my y is 17 because those sides are the same in the 45, 45, 90. All right, I hope that was a good enough review for you for the 45, 45, 90. We're now going to go do a quick review on the other one, the 30, 60, 90. And I hope when you look at these, you see how to tell the difference. How do I know it's a 30, 60, 90? What are you noticing in that one? Hopefully you're starting to see it. So we're going to get all these ready in a second for 30, 60, 90 work. Okay, so not only how do I recognize it, but what was the rule on the 30, 60, 90? So let's go draw a little drawing up here. I'm going to make it match the way this picture is laid out. So the 30 is my short side across from the 30 because 30 only opens a little bit. Remember that that was my side length, S, across from the 30. Then my hypotenuse was double that side length, and my other or third leg, my third side, was just the side length root 3. It's a root 2 in the two same sides, 45, 45, 90. It's a root 3 in the 30, 60, 90. 30, 60, 90 has a 3 in it. It has the root 3. But what if I didn't want to call this side length S? What if I wanted to call this any number n? So now my side length is going to be n, my hypotenuse is double n, and my third leg is n root 3. So notice right here how they have this rule spelled out for you. The short leg is n, the long leg is n root 3, and the hypotenuse is double that n. So let's see what they gave us in this question right here. Notice that they started out giving us the short leg across from that 30 as 4 centimeters. So go ahead and fill that in. N is equal to 4. So then I go use that 4 to get the rest. I can see that my long leg is just going to be 4 root 3. And my hypotenuse is going to be double that 4, or 8. How'd you do? Do you see how I got all those? So my x is my long leg. My y is my hypotenuse. And there we go. So again, pause this video, go ahead and check out to see how much of these 30, 60, 90s you can do on your own, and then replay it to see how you did, setting up how to do all the work. All right, so let's write down these rules from this guy right here. We've got the short leg of n, we've got the long leg of n root 3, and we've got the hypotenuse of double the n side length. Notice here across from the 30, they gave us an n of 12 feet this time. So my long leg, you got it, is 12 root 3, and my hypotenuse is just going to be double that 12. So my x, which is the hypotenuse, fill that in as 24 feet. My y, which is the long leg, is just 12 root 3 feet. Okay, get the next one set up. Short leg, long leg, and hypotenuse. Notice this time they did not give me the short leg. Here's my 30 over here. Across from the 30, there is an x. We don't know that value. What they did give me is the hypotenuse. Let's go fill that in, of 14 yards. So to work backwards to find that short leg, let's divide the 14 in half. 14 divided by 2, that side's going to just be 7. And then for my long leg is just 7 root 3. So this one's checking it out to see if we can work backwards. So my x is the short leg, that's 7 yards. And my y is the long leg, 7 root 3. All right, next, let's go short leg, long leg, and hypotenuse. How are you doing on these rules? Are you remembering them? So this time, looking across from my 30, do you see how they did not give us the short leg value? That's what we're trying to find. Again, they gave us a hypotenuse of 1. So if they told me the hypotenuse is 1 mile, and I want to take half of that hypotenuse to find my short leg, it means my short leg is just going to be a half mile. And then that leaves me my n root 3 as half root 3 miles. Can you guys even read that? Half root 3 miles. I wrote that pretty small. Okay, so my x is my short leg. That's a half mile. And my y is the long leg. That's half root 3 miles. All right, last two 30, 60, 90s. If you haven't paused the video yet, try it. Pause it and see how you do. How's that short leg going to look? How's that long leg going to look? And then what's the rule for the hypotenuse? Short leg, long leg, hypotenuse. Okay, here they gave us the hypotenuse of 47. So working backwards to half that, you're going to get a decimal. We're going to get 23.5 for the short leg. And by the way, this is inches. So if my short leg is 23.5, it's totally fine to have a decimal, then my long leg is 23.5 root 3. How'd you do on that guy? And remember, this is all in inches. So my x, which is my long leg, is going to be 23.5 root 3 inches. And my y, which is my short leg, is just going to be 23.5 inches. Last but not least, this one gets weird. Notice that my across from the 30, there is no value given for your side length. What they did give us is a root 3 over 2, root 3 over 2 is equal to the n root 3 rule. That's my long leg. Root 3 over 2 is equal to the long leg rule. So we're going to divide both sides by root 3. And n is going to be equal to 1/2 because these root 3's cancel out. And then if that's equal to 1/2, this is already 1/2 root 3 or root 3 over 2. And then double the n, 2 times 1/2 is just going to be 1. In fact, number 12 is exactly like number 8. They're actually the same problem, just written slightly different. Number 12 and number 8 are the same. So my x is just 1/2. My y is the hypotenuse, which is 1. And this is all, no units are given, so we're just going to write units. Okay, how'd you do with that review? Are you going to be okay on the final with these special right triangles? And hopefully memorizing that shortcut of how to find a missing side length. All of these answers are known as exact answers because they've got the square roots in the answer, and we don't have to get a decimal and round them. So all of these answers are a way to get a quick, exact answer for a side length of these two special right triangles. Good job.